And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Um, well, we got a few people here coming on board. Just a little while. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good.
Doing well. How about y'all?
Man, blessed beyond belief. We've had a few weeks off. We were trying to go out there and do the Royal and had that much fun out there at the American Royal. um, that was very expensive this year to drive out there. And now we're back, getting back into the groove. And I've got some guests on tonight that I'm very glad to be part of this. Mr. Cary, since you're up here on my, this side, that side, whatever, introduce yourself and go first.
I'm Cary Chasteen from Griffin, Georgia with Hold Your Horses BBQ.
Mr. Josh, how about yourself?
Josh Lambert with JL Smokers, Salisbury, North Carolina.
And Justin, you got to introduce yourself too.
Justin Holt, and I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, Holt Brothers BBQ. Sorry, I'm minutes late getting in. We had a game tonight, so we didn't get back until I was just getting Hollis in bed.
No, it's all good.
Dad life.
And I'm Jason Hardee, Elite BBQ Smokers. And tonight we got some really special guests on here that's been successful in barbecue. Somebody's got their first grand here in the last few weeks, and another gentleman that's been cooking a lot this year and been very consistent and was able to win Rocky Mount this weekend. So, Mr. Cary, since you're up here on the top of the corner, tell us about your cook down at Rocky Mount. First off, what made you go to Rocky Mount?
Well, I was signed up to go to Lyons, Georgia, and after it just kind of made sense for me to drop my trailer in Harrisburg and go to Rocky Mount because I've never done well at Lyons. Last year, I had 3 top 7 calls and then caught a crazy table and finished 25th in Brisket along with Lee Hickle and several others. That table finished 24th through 28th consecutively. And I just decided North Carolina seems to like my stuff. I'd go a different direction. Yeah. And it paid off big time.
It paid off. I think I tried to talk you into coming up here, if I'm not mistaken.
You did, and I thank you for it.
I got my butt kicked.
My goal was to try to win one of those glass trophies, those glass flames. Never dreamed I'd walk out of there with 3 of them.
You did. He was so nervous about them things on the ride back home, he couldn't even stand his own self up there. He just took back the trailer. I thought he was scared to break them. But yeah, I used to give you big styrofoam boxes, and they came in, but undoubtedly they threw them away this year.
Yeah, they couldn't find them, so we packed them up in, the gram was packed in the laundry bucket with all the dirty towels and everything else, and wedged between the seat and the dash in the truck, and the 2 category trophies were wrapped up in towels and jackets strapped into the passenger seat.
Nice.
And Kenny had to stay in the back seat on the ride home.
Now Kenny's your dog.
He is. He's my standard poodle that goes with me.
Yep. So if y'all don't know, he's got his dog with him, and he loves mud puddles.
Any kind of water.
He loves mud puddles. Cary came out there this weekend. We had a bunch of people there. It was a great contest, good friends, and we had a good time. And he was a little bit nervous there to the end about chicken. He was a little nervous, but he ended up walking away with it.
Well, I didn't get a chicken call, and I knew my chicken wasn't as good as it normally is because I cooked such huge legs. I called them pterodactyl legs because I could only put 6 in the box. And they were okay, but they weren't great like they normally are. We didn't get a chicken call. And we got a 5th in ribs, and I thought, well, okay, that's pretty good. And I felt really strong with the pork. And lo and behold, we won pork. And So I'd made my goal. I got my one trophy, and I'm good at that point. And and then we get through Brisket, and Fred Vegas has got 4 calls. Blue and Gray's got 4 calls. Rooters and Tooters with 3. And all of a sudden, Hold Your Horses gets called for first in Brisket. And we're sitting there for the overall, and they've gotten up to 5th. And I turned to David and I said, "How bad did we screw up chicken?" And then Blue and Gray got called for 4th. And then Rooters and Tooters got called for 3rd. And I told David, I said, we must have really crapped the bed chicken. And then I thought, well, Rooters and Tooters had 3 calls. They didn't get a chicken call. I said, we might have reserve. And lo and behold, they called Fred Vegas for reserve. And I like to fell out of the chair because that was pretty cool.
Brian's on here. Hey, Brian, you done really good up there this weekend too. I think you got 5th overall. I tell you, man, that was a really good contest with a lot of good teams up there this weekend. Which is every contest we go to anymore. It's all good teams.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was pretty cool. Brian done good. Cary walked away with it, and that was awesome to be part of that. I think I've been in every contest you've GC'd, Cary.
You have Ashboro and now Rocky Mount.
Yep, and Murphy.
Only one you missed were my GBA and FBAs.
Yep. I hadn't been in those. I've never done the FBA. I want to do it one day. And GBA. Brian's like, who's Cary? Never heard of him. Speaking of Brian, y'all done dang good at the Royal, man. Congratulations to y'all.
Oh, I tell you what. I thought he had won it all on Saturday.
Man, I tell you, it was crazy. That was amazing. All right, Mr. Josh. Now, I wasn't at your contest. I was in Nashville on the way to the Royal. So, you got. I wasn't there. Justin, you were there, though, wasn't you?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, talk to us. Tell us what's going on. Tell us the whole ball game. You got to give us the play-by-play.
It was. It's just shocking, and we felt like we had a decent cook, but and everything went smooth that day, and go to awards, and normally we do decent in chicken. We didn't get nothing in chicken, so I'm like, it's probably not going to be a good one, and we did good with ribs. I think we got second on ribs, and then we didn't hit pork, and then we hit brisket. Got a 3rd in brisket, and we figured a good top 10 cook, and they got down to 5th place, and I'm like, we blew something up. And Tiff kept telling me, said, Josh? I said, nah, I mean, it got down to 3rd, and it was shocking. I wasn't expecting it. But it's very humbling. Good support group behind you, and it was fun.
So, I watched it online. I seen it online a little bit. I think it was cutting in and out while I was driving or whatever. But we was watching online, and I had it. And one of the things that when we won our first contest, and able to hear the crowd of people to support you, clap for you, and appreciate that. Cary, same way with you. I've been up there at Murphy, and just hear that everybody in there just very supportive of you winning a contest.
Mm-hmm.
When you get through that, you look back and watch that video, you're like, that many people really appreciate what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Or really support me in winning a contest. And that just has always just been just mind blowing that we do this stupid thing and we don't win a contest, and yet we're still clapping and happy for everybody else. And it's nuts. But so that was your first grand champion.
That was my first one. Yep.
Now, have you done other sanctioning bodies in addition to KCBS or just KCBS?
Just KCBS. We've done some backyards. church events, stuff like that, but nothing, no other sanctions.
No other sanctionings. Well, man, I tell you, that was a tough field. I mean, Joel and them putting on a heck of a contest up there.
They are. Yeah.
Josh had a good line of people waiting to shake his hand after he got that. I had to get in line. I mean, it was like just the team ready to come up and give him a fist bump or a hug.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Definitely a strong field. Again, I figured it was a top 10, and just because of the field, you know what I mean? But it was good.
Yeah, that was a heck of a field. I mean, Urkel was there. Gosh, who else was there?
Big.
You had
Corbett was there. Smoking
Revenge was.
Yeah, you had a heck of a field. That's saying something other.
Sorry, I dropped you. I'm here.
Yeah,
Internet flaky. Yeah, I was just saying it was a pretty stacked field. Urkel was there.
I think Justin's got a lot of programs open up on his computer again tonight. He's freezing on us here. His kids is playing Xbox while he's watching. He's supposed to be in bed right now.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Everything's been acting weird. Anyway, it was a tough field. We'll just say that. I'm jinxing myself saying Wolf's Revenge, but yeah, it was a challenging group of cooks to be up against. And even in the crowd, I don't think anybody knew. You know, you can kind of tell who's going to be getting grand based on the calls, but they were all over the place. You know, so like really, I didn't know. Dave was sitting beside me, OMF, and he was like, "I don't know. Who do you think?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. Like, it's just I have no idea." And then when they called for Josh, I think I jumped up out of my seat with like a fist in the air. Yeah, it was awesome.
I know I was coming home from Alta Vista, and I talked to somebody, and they told me Josh had won. And as soon as I hung up from them, I called Joel Avey and figured he was still at the contest and was trying to I wanted him to take the phone to Josh so I could congratulate him. Well, they were already gone, so I sent Josh a message. I said, "Call me," and gave him my number because I couldn't wait to congratulate him.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's amazing, man. It really is.
Well, there's nothing like the first one. Cherish it because you never know how long it's going to be before the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely something other to appreciate, especially getting one with that, like Justin was talking about, with that level of teams there. When you win one with that level of teams, just like, yeah, I can play this game, and then we go do it next weekend, and we keep doing it and keep trying to find that high. And Wes is right; it's a brotherhood, like it's got nobody's business.
It is. I mean, that's like McAdoo. They get ready to go to Jack. I mean, just good group of people right there. I mean, I'm gonna be cheering them on from here, but I mean, I hope they go out there and do good.
Well, you in the draw for next year. You in the draw for next year now. You got your name in the hat. I'm trying to think. You might be on North Carolina team's got a GC now for next year, don't you?
I'm in the North Carolina.
Yeah, but you're a Georgia team. I'm talking about he's only North Carolina team in the
so
hat.
far.
No. Who cares? It's got one.
That's right.
Oh yeah, he received this weekend.
Yeah, he did this weekend.
How's he pull that off? He didn't compete for like 6 months and then blows everybody out of the water. He got like a
706.
I was like, damn, man. I wish I was that good. I'm gonna take 6 months off and then come right back in and get a GC.
I think he's a good cook. I can't take anything from him. He's a really good cook.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think he's got a good group core that he's talking with and interacting with that kind of helps him and help each other. And so I'll have to be honest, he's got a heck of a group, heck of a core behind him on that.
Mm-hmm.
Wes is saying, would you rather know that you had won or be surprised?
My first one I kind of knew. This one this weekend was a real surprise, and it was almost more of a shock.
Yeah. Justin, Josh, what you think? Would you want to know, or you think you'd rather like being surprised?
I'd like for it to be a surprise. That's what we're in it for, to, play with the best, and some you win some, you lose some, and that's that first one. I mean, I hope I don't stop. I hope I keep going. So we're gonna try anyway till the good Lord makes us quit.
Well, there's been a common denominator between all three of my grands. I've won brisket every day.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I haven't won brisket every time I've cooked one contest. I have won a couple times. The crazy part about that is the contest that I've won, I've always been surprised about. I did not know I was going to win them because I just didn't get a call in all four categories. And the contest I thought I won, I didn't win because I didn't get a call on brisket there at the end. So I'll have to say
that was Lauren's last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Lauren's. I mean, I had, God, I think it was two firsts and a second, or something like that,
or a third, or something like that.
And brisket killed somebody. I reckon they will charge me for murder, Lawrence for brisket. It's nuts. Justin, you got a fan here that Mike wants to know about that.
Oh, Mike, yeah. I'm sorry. It's work's been busy. I had a week in New York. I had to get all ready for that. That took me another week out. I actually had put that on my list today to start getting 3 more scheduled out and recorded. So look for him in the next couple of weeks.
And he's probably waiting on me.
Yep.
Which is challenging in itself. But yeah, we've done that. Josh, I got a question for you here now. So tell me how you got into the barbecue and the cooking. Not necessarily competition, but how'd you get into the passion of just wanting to get there and start cooking?
Well, I guess it was a little old electric smoker. Wife got me for Christmas or something, and I just wanted to start cooking, and then we started doing a little cooking for our employees at work, and just started from there. I mean, and I just keep on wanting to cook.
But did you grow up cooking, or is it just something you used to?
I didn't grow up cooking. I was big into deer hunting and coon hunting, and I was big into hunting. And I don't know, switch flipped one day, and I just wanted to cook.
Yeah, I think Cary on his porch is losing signal here, but so I mean that's the kind of the whole thing about it is whenever you just started cooking out here and you hold a minute, Cary, back in here. Cary, I think your porch might be about too far from you the satellite.
Yeah.
So you just started hunting, and so did you hunt? Did you cook at your hunting club?
No, we didn't cook none. No, I didn't grow up cooking. I mean, I didn't. I grilled a couple, a little bit, but just all of a sudden wanted to take on barbecuing. I mean, whatever.
But when you got that electric smoker, you started cooking for you at your shop, and then all of a sudden now you started experimenting.
Yeah, and then I started playing with building them, and then kept getting bigger and bigger, doing more, and
that's crazy.
But yeah, we didn't have no cooking experience. We just picked it up and started.
Josh, the cooker you got on the back of your trailer, is it an offset or a reverse flow?
It's an offset.
That's what I thought.
That's one you built, right?
Yes, sir.
So you build them and sell them and stuff, right?
Some hobby.
Yeah.
Not all the time. But I,
What's up, Warren?
I'd rather be cooking than I would be building them.
So that's why I got in KCBS contest. Actually, was on selling my smokers. I was gonna start building at the time, and I found out that you got to have a production line to really make money building smokers.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ain't got the staff and stuff to make production line, you don't need to be building smokers. So I was doing it for a hobby. Loved doing it. I can put a book on or put radio on it. Just get lost out there welding. But at the end of the day, you're working for free.
Yep.
You are.
That was mine. Carrie, tell us a background of how you got into cooking. Not necessarily competition style, but just cooking in general.
Well, we grew up always cooking whole hog every September for the neighborhood. So I've always cooked a lot of barbecue and grew up around it. And even went to work at a barbecue restaurant when I was 15. And by the time I was 16, I was head pit master. Hush. And so, I've been through that side of it, and we still did a lot of fundraiser cooks for the 4-H and that kind of stuff. And my nephew made a wager with me, and we went and cooked the first contest locally here in Griffin, the Doc Holliday's GBA event. And I think we finished 26th or 27th out of about 40 teams, the very first one. Decided I'd practice, get better, went back next year, and I think we finished like 21st. And I said, hey, I either got to get better or I got to quit. So I started taking a few classes and went back to Doc Holliday's the next year and got my first call and beat Robbie and Brisket, which was one of the classes I'd taken.
Awesome.
And then we went to Milledgeville. That was the state championship 3 weeks later. Decided we'd go down and try our luck there. And Brian Mizraki from Bull Rush out of Florida was on his way to the Royal and stopped there for a practice cook. And I was still cooking off of a landscape trailer and a pop-up tent and 2 tables. And it was really windy. And when I went to go clean up on Saturday, I had a 3/4 of an inch of rub blown on the table at the base of the Cambrose.
Nice.
And I was cleaning up on Saturday, and they came around and brought me a final sheet for pork.
Uh-oh.
My meat was already in the cooler. The cooker was off.
Uh-oh.
So I had to relight the cooker, warm meat back up, and try to get it ready for finals. And lo and behold, we finished second in pork that day. And I was so excited I got about a 5-foot trophy and a $600 check. And I was trying to post it on Facebook. And Robbie comes up and taps the shoulder and says, you going to go up and get your 4th place ribs? I'd never even heard him call my name. And walking back from awards, Brian's 6'7", 6'8", and probably 360 because he was a lineman for Florida State. And he wraps his big arm around me and pulls me in close and says, well, we got you reeled in hook, line, and sinker now. And there's never been any truer words. And look at what we've done in the last few years.
It is crazy. So you got into KCBS, that was about 19. Is that when you first started KCBS side of it?
17 was when I cooked my first one. It was Flames on the Flint down there with 90-something teams at Bainbridge, Georgia.
Yeah, I remember
Johnny
those.
Trigg is the defending grand champion. That was my first KCBS event.
Yep.
And I was a little overwhelmed.
It can be intimidating.
And I think we finished like 43rd that day or something like that out of about 80 teams. And that was the very first time I'd met the Mutts because they were parked over by us. And I cooked one of KCBS that year in 17. And then I was still cooking MBN, GBA, FBA, and GBA events. And in 19, I decided to try to concentrate on KCBS because I had gone down to Moultrie in December and was cooking a GBA event. And, because I've been cooking some KCBS, it's chicken, ribs, pork, and brisket. Well, in GBA, it's loin, ribs, and then pork. And I'm sitting there trying to get, or pork and then ribs, and I'm sitting there trying to rush my ribs to get ready and build a box for my second turn in, and realize with 4 minutes to go, it's supposed to be pork. So I throw ribs back on the cooker and try to build a pork box in 4 minutes, and I DQ'd by about 5 seconds.
Dang.
Wow.
And so then I decided in 19 I'd kind of concentrate on one thing and see if I couldn't dial in on the flavors and tenderness, because there's just a little bit of difference in textures. Flavors work, but the texture between the different associations seems to differ a little bit. And that's when I started trying to concentrate on KCBS and started predominantly cooking them. But I still go to Texas every January and cook Houston and the San Antonio Rodeo, cooking IBCA, and that's a lot of fun with the chicken halves.
Mm-hmm.
And then last year at Houston, we managed to final in brisket out of 258 teams, and that was pretty cool.
Tell you,
Yeah, I
man,
gotta
that's
say,
his addiction.
That GBA timeline, it's a heck of a switch from a KCBS, because we just did Doc Holiday. I guess that was last month, and I think I started cooking at 4:30 or 4, just because stuff's way earlier. What, Jordan, Cary? I think the first turn ins at 9:45. Is that right?
Yeah, with loin.
Yeah, loin
9:45 to 10.
But then you got to stagger your cook, because you don't run into what Cary did his first time. If you actually get a finals, you want to have fresh stuff, so you got to stagger more cooks.
All the years I cooked GBA, I never staggered a cook.
Really?
Really. Because see, MBN, you hardly ever stagger. You just cook enough up and put it and rest it and hold it.
Yeah.
And that's what GBA is based off of, and that's what I did. The only thing I ever tried to stagger was loin a couple of times, and I wasn't successful.
Yeah.
Trying to manage that cook while I'm still building boxes. And so I just went back to holding them like I always did, and I was very successful in loin.
Awesome. Yeah, when I wrote out my schedule, I was like, there's a lot of stuff running into each other in 5-minute windows here. I don't know if I can pull this off by myself.
That's one thing about the SCBA, that 10 o'clock window turn in.
Mm-hmm.
It screws your head up.
Yeah, and then doing 11 ribs, but then immediately having to start serve the public at 11 too.
Yeah.
So you got to have everything chopped and ready. Yeah, that's a lot for one person to do. And I'm crazy enough to where I'm doing an SCBA the weekend of Shelby, and then leaving the contest and driving up to Shelby to do the Sunday KCBS contest, because I'm a crazy person. So not only am I doubling, I'm not even doubling at the same spot. I'm not going to travel.
Rolling doubles are always good. It's easy to do. Just look at us last weekend. Came down and cooked for Vista at 4. Got to Massachusetts or Vermont, wherever it was up north, 4 a.m. and $1,000 again.
He's an animal, man.
He had a driver. He had a driver too.
Yeah, he did. Matter of fact, he's talking about leaving Royal Oak and going back to Pennsylvania to cook the Sunday double up there.
What a wild man.
Well, I understand it. If I was in that position for the points, I'd probably be looking at stuff differently too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm not in that point, so I don't have no clue about that. After this weekend, I probably need to reevaluate a lot of stuff. But Cary won it, so I'm all happy for his ball games this past weekend. But so I think we're talking about here about getting started though. So one of the things I say when I got started, what started me cooking, not barbecue, was my Emerald Lagasse. Remember, Food Network just started, had it show on there, and it was like bang. Some buddy of mine, we started cooking down there, whatever we was shooting at hunting club, and started cooking it and using them stuff. I remember he come back when he spent $20 on a pepper. And a lot of like had a stroke. I'm like, what are you doing with $20 on pepper? Now I'm spending $20 on all kind of peppers. That's crazy. It's just crazy. But anyhow, that's kind of where we got started into it. So that's kind of, it's really cool to hear stories of how people got started in barbecue, started in that. So, Cary, when you cooking at home, when you just cooking for yourself at home and you're not competition style, what do you cook? What's your favorite thing to cook, and what do you cook on?
Here at the house, I cook on just about all rectex. I have a bullseye here on the back porch that's my workhorse, and it's not even the latest bullseye. It's the beta version of the one that's out now that is my workhorse. And I have a 590 here if I'm doing long cooks and stuff that used to be on the comp trailer. And I have a 1250 and a 1070 here at the house. Tonight I made brisket spaghetti. I took my burnt ends from Alta Vista that got killed and made it in spaghetti sauce, put it on about 3 o'clock this afternoon and let it sit there and simmer. And I tell you what, it was absolutely delicious.
That sounds delicious.
Man, I love
to cook a lot of pizzas on the bullseye.
Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
love taking
We'll make dough in the bread machine and we'll put it up in the freezer in packs and I'll pull it out and thaw it and we'll make pizzas on the bullseye.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. Josh, what do you cook on at home? What do you like to cook? What's your favorite thing to cook at home?
Oh,
crock pot.
Yes.
Stovetop stuffing.
Yeah, I got a little Traeger I'll cook on, or I got a gravity fed Masterbuilt that I'll cook on. We'll cook ribs. We'll do brisket stuff with tacos, and we'll do a lot of leftover stuff as well. We don't much eat the chicken after, but everything else gets pretty much eat.
The only thing I use leftover chicken for is I usually shred it up and make chicken salad out of it. I like doing that because it's just like barbecue chicken. A day or so it just dries out and it's really not good. But I usually make chicken salad out of it, but it's definitely a lot. We have a lot of leftovers, and people don't understand is that we don't just warm it up and make barbecue sandwiches.
No.
We might get creative with it because I love a brisket, burnt ends, and omelet. I love that. And one of my little go-tos on home or whatever is take brisket trimmings and ramen noodles and make brisket ramen noodles. I love it. But
I don't want nothing to do with barbecue after content. And man, I've been vacuum sealing my leftovers, and I either give them to the neighbors or my father-in-law, and I've done filled up the deep freezer back there, so I don't have no room for no more leftovers, so they got to be going somewhere. But yeah. I do usually keep the brisket just because we've spent so much damn money on them, and I have been now actually grinding all of I don't freeze the trimmings anymore because, of course, half of my freezer was bags of stuff that I couldn't tell whether it was meat or fat. And I was like, what am I doing with all this? So I've actually been keeping it fresh and grinding it when I get back home and, flattening it out into a bag and vacuum sealing it. That way it doesn't take up much room, but saving it for chili contests.
Yeah. You also can take cooked over pork and brisket and make sausage out of it.
Yeah. I've tried the sausage thing. It tasted like cardboard. I was like, all right, that's not my game.
Use powdered milk, man.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to grill is either tri-tips, and like tomorrow night, we're going to have a picanha that I'm going to grill. So
man, I love those two cuts.
You got an A9 picanha?
I do.
Awesome thing to cook.
Living large down there in Georgia.
Well, no, I had a good friend of mine that rode with me to Mississippi this spring for a comp, and when I had ordered stuff from the butcher shop, it showed up in the cooler and said, thanks for the ride, and I've been saving it, and I have it in the refrigerator thawed, and tomorrow night we're cooking it.
Very cool. Josh, did you do that contest where they provided the meat, and one of them was it was at that church up, I guess it was outside of Salisbury last year, and they had steak, and one of the categories was tri-tip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, didn't you and I do that? And then we had to go around and actually, after we cooked it, we were the judges, so everybody had to put it out on the picnic table, and you had to go tray by tray. And I was like, I don't think anybody here is going to know how to cook a tri-tip correctly because, like, and there were some creative, I guess you could call it, entries there for sure.
Yeah, there
Well,
was.
that was where I learned how to cook a tri-tip. We cooked one over at Farmview in Madison, Georgia, and it was chicken ribs and tri-tip because it was just a one-day contest.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never heard of a tri-tip before.
Yep.
And so I bought a case of them and started cooking them. And it wasn't until after that contest I actually learned how to cook one properly. But now it's one of my favorite things.
Josh
and slicing it properly so it's tender.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We had one there that I swear was brisket. I was like, I don't know how they cooked that, but that was not. I don't think that was tri-tip. Man, whatever they did to it was wrong. But
yeah, Dean said he likes doing. He owns a pizza shop, but you like cooking your pizza on a Green Mountain.
Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty awesome, dude. That's so much better. You're right. Cooking them pizzas at home, cooking anything at home is better. That's one thing about making YouTube videos. I don't go out that much no more because I'm always trying something, practicing something other for videos. You know, tri-tips are hard to find, but they have gotten to be lately where they've been getting. I was in Food Line.
I have also seen them more often.
It was Choice now, but Food Line had a ton of them.
Yeah, it's strange how they're like you can find, like, I've seen them pretty consistently in the chef store, food supply place, and up until beginning of the year, I mean, I'd have to actually probably go to a specialty butcher shop here in Charlotte to find one. And now, just like you said, Food Line's had them. I've seen them at Walmart, chef store. Weird. I don't know how they're coming in. I mean, I'm happy with it. I love that cut. But
by the way, Teresa, congratulations on the cause this weekend. I was happy for you up there. That's pretty cool. Richard's saying here, brisket pizza. Oh man, brisket pizza is awesome. Actually, brisket calzone is super awesome.
That sounds good.
That was really awesome.
Well, Chef Greg over at RecTech makes a brisket stromboli that's really good.
Yeah, I bet you that would be really awesome. I think I could get her to meet them guys. So I reckon I'm gonna head up yonder for that RecTech Days thing up there, your plate up there now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's gonna be pretty neat out there. And so, Justin, you going to Banjo BBQ?
I'm not. We are doing an SCA contest here in Concord, which is a little bit north of Charlotte, on Saturday. It's a double. I saw it on the schedule at the beginning of the year, and I said that has to be a typo because there's never a contest in Charlotte. There's no way that's real, and it really is real. It's at the Rick Hendrick race facility, NASCAR race facility. So Hollis and I are heading up there Saturday morning, which is awesome. I don't have to go and sleep somewhere because we've been at hotels the past couple of weekends doing stuff. And they got a kids hot dog division, so he's excited about that. And I'm going to go see if I can win some cash and keep up my good luck on the SCA circuit.
I know you've been doing good with that.
I'll make it down to Banjo BBQ.
Thank you, Teresa.
Been on my case about making it down there, so I'm putting it on the schedule for next year.
It's an awesome contest.
Yep, I've heard.
It's one of the best contests around ever. I really loved it when it used to be over at the park, and we were parked around the perimeter and had the stages in the center just to sit out there and people watch.
That's cool. And they got the full band lineup this year too, right?
Yes, they do. They do.
Y'all gonna have a lot of fun down there this weekend.
Dean, I bet you with your pizza shop skills, you probably could really blow my mind. Different stuff you come up with. Always amazing. I tell you, man, I have been playing around trying to make some pizza dough for YouTube videos, and I've successfully learned that I suck at it. So I'm trying to figure that thing out because I keep wanting to do that, and it's not really working out too well. So I've got to but I ain't giving up. I still got to work on that. But anyhow, that's just been crazy.
You got to head on down to a Papa John's and ask to buy a couple dough balls from them.
I've been doing that here, but and I love doing it. But
Yeah,
I
making pizza dough ain't fun.
Yeah, Dean, dough's easy.
Dean says dough's easy. Coming from a man that runs a pizza shop.
I'm at the line up a day to come down there and hang out with you. Show me how to make it. I think it's got a lot to do with having the patience to let it rest and do its thing.
Yeah, you got to let it proof up real good.
Which is probably half the problem. Yeah,
that's something that's starting up now in Georgia. There's a pizza cook-off association that's starting to get going, and Blake Kitchens, the Hound Hogs barbecue guy, he's doing the Georgia State Championships in January, and he's tossing around the idea of doing a Friday night pizza cook-off association cook. And I was like, I'll join that. I came up in college making pizza, working at Papa John's, and then moonlighting at a little New York pizza place by the college. And I have slapped thousands of doughs out, man. I'm a pizza alumni.
Bet you are.
Yep.
So, Josh, you saying this earlier, I think it was pre-show here. Your next contest is Shelby?
Yeah, Shelby, yep.
You doing both days up there, both days at the double?
Yeah, we're going to do both days.
Yeah, I've got to. Well, I got the invoice. I got to pay him, so we got it. So Doug is saying here, it's going to be a blast. We're looking forward to it. You know we are. Best lineup ever. I'm tired already. Starting.
Doug, how many teams are we looking at?
Yeah, we hadn't seen that here anywhere with how many teams, but curious to have on that. But it was kind of a cool. So you're gonna be doing Shelby next. Justin, you say you doing this double in Charlotte, and then you're going to Shelby too after that double.
Yep, I'll be doing an SCBA Saturday, and then leaving from there and heading up for the Sunday Shelby.
That's cool.
Yep. So we're hitting the road hard that weekend. And I'll tell you why, because when Zombie Q got moved to May, I was like, cool, there's an SCBA contest that weekend. I'll sign up. I went ahead and paid and everything. Then about a week later, I was like, well, cool, that's the same weekend as Shelby is, and I can't read calendars for shit. So I already signed up and paid the money and was like, well, damn it, I haven't paid Noel yet, so I guess I can just do that. Leave right out of Ward's and just drive straight to Shelby and do Shelby on Sunday. So I asked Noel if that was cool, and he said it was fine. So, because I've missed two of the last two contests that Noel's done, I've had something come up to where I couldn't end up making it. And I was like, I promised him at the last contest, I was like, I will be there. Like, come hell or high water, I'll be there. And then I pulled that, and I was like, damn it, I can't let him down now. No, I ain't never going to speak to me again if I don't make it up there. So, yeah, we'll be doing a lot of driving, a lot of cooking that weekend.
Dean, I think we're going to try to travel more next year and see some contests in other parts of the country. So, if we go out there anywhere, come out there and hang out and find out where somewhere to cook. But I don't know that side of the mountain. That side of Appalachian Mountains. Cary, didn't you do one up there the other day? The apples?
I haven't been into Ohio. I've done Indiana and Illinois and up through there, but I've not been over to Ohio.
Tracy, yes, Shelby's awesome contest. It's a beautiful location. But I will say this: the walk to turn in is uphill.
Oh boy.
So that little walk to turn in is up that little hill. So just take that in consideration.
And don't run back down because then you're going to roll the whole way.
Yeah.
Like a barrel.
I think Shelby's going to be really interesting because I've got a sneaky feeling there's a lot of big hitters coming in for that last weekend to try to fend off Urkel.
I have a feeling that it's going to be a stupid, heavy loaded contest.
Mm-hmm.
But you remember we done Zombie Q a couple years back, and it was the same way. Had every team is chasing points was out there, and That was I remember getting basted. My mind just went blank. Brad. I remember I could never in my life remember somebody joining up and celebrating getting second place like he did. He got second place and it just locked him in for the end of the year, and it was crazy. It was a lot of fun, though.
Well, see, it was like that 3 or 4 years ago when the season ended in December, and we used to cook Christmas on the River in Demopolis, Alabama. And that year we had Kelly Wirtz, we had Bobby Stanfield with BNS Outlaws because he was chasing it hard.
Mm-hmm.
We had what's the boy out of Texas? Boomerang, and all them, and they're coming right down to the wire because there's like 3 points separating 3 of them in Brisket. And Bobby Stanfield gets 5th, and all of a sudden he comes up and he says, "I'm your biggest fan now." And then lo and behold, I get 4th. Kelly Wirtz gets 2nd, and Boomerang gets 1st. And they pass him by 2 points.
Boomerang had a heck of a run there for a couple of years. That's for damn sure.
Yep.
That was nuts. But yeah, Dean. So we've been to the Royal twice now, and I will say that it's a lot of fun. And we're talking about next year. If we have a chance to win the contest, we're probably gonna go back out there. But if I go back to the Royal, I'm gonna do it a little bit differently. I'm gonna go out there with a group of people and go out there as a team and just do the whole size and just experience the whole ball game. So I've been there twice with the idea to really focus on the competition side of it. And I still want to focus on competition, but I think if I go out there again, I want to experience the entire thing. Like me and Jess were talking about it the other day. So I think if we go back out there, I think we're going to do things a little bit differently. But I will sell this for anybody. If you like cooking at all, you like anything relating to that, if you have the opportunity, and Josh, this is basically for you, you need to do the American Royal at least one time because it will blow your mind.
We plan on going next year. That's right now. That's the goal. So we'll see.
Yeah, I guess we'll be there too because Hollis has already committed me to driving all the way out there, even though I told him he had to drive some, and he told me no, he didn't have a driver's license. So if anybody wants to hop in and pick a couple miles with me, man, Jason may be in front of us with no trailer just burning up the road. So
if I go back out there, though, I'm renting an RV out there because I think I spent $1,800 last week and so going out there and coming back in fuel.
Wow.
And Cary, you done it last year.
I did. I mean, that week cost me a little over $4,500, and I really wanted to go to the Invitational, which was like 3 weeks after or a month, and it was in Shawnee, Oklahoma, which was another 4.5 hours past the Royal. God. And I didn't go, and so this year I skipped the Royal so I could go cook the Invitational. And luckily it's in Gadsden this year, so it's only 3.5 hours from the house instead of 21.5.
Is it full?
No, they just sent out an email today. Registration closes October 15th.
Really? October 15th. Well, I don't think I'll pull it off this year. I was thinking about doing it, but I think we'll have to wait. I've got too many irons placed in the fire right now. They had 250 teams in the Invitational, and 505 competed in the Open.
Wow. God, that takes a lot of judges.
Oh, we ain't gonna talk about judges. They had their own little stuff this year. I wasn't in the tent, so I can't speak on about that. So,
in next week's show, Jason tells us about the Royal.
Next week's show. But I mean, again, it's luck at a table, especially you start doing that kind of stuff. I mean,
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, it's so much luck in something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of us looked at the tables. Been blessed with that. Well, Josh, you got any sponsors that sponsor you need to give a shout out to?
I ain't got no sponsors.
JL's Custom Smokers on the back of that trailer. I know it's got to be part of it.
Me and the good Lord, and my wife supports me, and I do. My boss supports me. He helps me times. But as far as that, I'll build a cooker here and there, and that helps out. But we don't have no sponsorship.
You got that puppy with you. That ain't a puppy no more, though.
He's our mascot. He ain't much of a
Mascot. No.
He don't do too much, but spend my money.
Yep.
Yeah, I tell you, man, this is not a cheap hobby.
It's not a hobby.
It's something that really and truly to do and be part of it. But the camaraderie, the fellowship, the friendships. So even if you don't want to go there and cook, go judge, because that same fellowship is in the judging booth, and they need judges too. So, or come out there and volunteer. Come out and hang out with us. We'll talk to anybody and everybody. But the group of friends and stuff we have on this is just unreal. It's really crazy. Cary, how about you?
Oh, I'm very blessed to have some really great sponsors. First and foremost is Heath Riles Barbecue, one of my biggest supporters and best friends for a long time, and been a great mentor to me. Atlanta Barbecue Store, RecTech Grills that I'm blessed to be able to teach at their academies, the Butcher Shop, and that sharpening guy out of Florida, Kenny Hallam, that keeps all my knives in great shape. And have my very first cook class in the works for the end of February.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. That'd be a lot of fun to do a cook class in there. We've been talking about doing something here, but ours is not towards competition. Ours is just something other for back home cooks. But
Cary,
I think
you
you had a
that?
good class.
You got to do that in Griffin?
No, we're actually going to do it in Raleigh, North Carolina at Grillbilly's.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
Even closer. That's
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah, I'll try
That
to
would
be
be
there.
awesome.
Grillbilly's is awesome. That's a great store.
February 25th and 6th, I think, is the dates it's going to be.
Killer.
Yeah, Ryan and his wife Ellen's amazing people. I'm wearing their hat right now, by the way.
So am I.
Yeah, we are, aren't we? We're matching. But we are really, really blessed.
And
really
also, too, next weekend, if anybody is around, we're having Rec Fest over at Evans, Georgia at RecTech. I know we're cooking 3,000 pounds of pork. I'm cooking 200. They'll cook 5,000 hot dogs. There'll be entertainment tours of the facility. I know they've got about 5 grills lined out for the scratch and dent sale. So come on out and join the fun and have some good food.
Yeah, I mean, they're a great group of people, and y'all see my videos. I use RecTech, I use Competition Trailer, I use them for a lot of my videos and stuff. And what I will say is this: quality, you have to look at what they got to see it. It's truly amazing, and the customer service they got is top shelf. Mr. Brian, how you doing, man? Yeah, we're bragging on you. Got a great story, him and Miss Ellen, and talking about coming back. Little man Jarvis is 180, got the robe, the crown, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, man, he's killing it.
But Brian got his first ever 180 out there at the Royal too, so he's not the only standout in the family to not have one.
Yeah, that's right. He's finally got him one on it.
He does, and he did it on the big stage.
That's right.
In Brisket, no less.
Yeah, really. I was amazing. I was out there and I was like, I seen this little man won, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. And Wes's girl got second. I mean, Wes' girl got second. I mean, that was just crazy. I mean, blessed one. That was awesome. A lot of people out there, and I would say, in all honesty, and anybody who's been out to Royal will say this: you truly need to go out there and cook it, or just go out there and judge it. Go out there and volunteer. Just go out there and see that whole ball game, because it is just, it's wild. If you cook in it, you go out there on Wednesday and enjoy the whole activities. It's really crazy. I mean, it's something that you will always remember.
The greatest celebration ever was last year in Kids Q when Reed Breeden won the younger group, and he got up and got his crown and cape and did the girly man pose. That was just the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
And on Monday, he did. And then on Monday, I got a picture from Carmen. Reed is in the back seat of the truck asleep with his cape and his crown on.
Yeah. Yeah. He owned it that year. That was cool.
Barbecue champion.
Yep.
But it was really cool to see two children. I hate to say kids, but two children here that was good friends that hung out the entire time and cooked and got 1-2. I mean, it was just that was crazy. Hey, he's got his dog there too, Dolly. Come on.
Come here, Kenny. Come here.
Come on. We gotta get a dog show going on here.
Come on.
Come here. Come here.
Come on.
You gotta get on TV. You ain't on TV yet. Come on. Hell, can't get her up here. She's being hard head. Most times she jump right on top of me.
Kenny was asleep on the floor. He had to get up and stretch.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Listen, we've all been blessed to be part of a great group, and I want to encourage everybody out there that's cooking. Everybody here started somewhere. We all started somewhere. We all just started doing it, but we come out here to cook a contest, and everybody that was doing it was very intimidated the first contest we cooked. You come out here and you see what it is, and what you don't know is until you get here and you do it a couple times where you actually get out the shell, go talk to somebody, is everybody out here will help you 100% so you can do good. It'll blow your mind. And nobody would believe that until they come out here and they see it and they do it. And we want to encourage everybody to come out here and talk to us. The only thing we ask you is from about 10 o'clock to about 1:30, give us a little bit of time.
That's right. After 1:30, come on in, do some dishes. We'll talk. We got plenty of cleanup to do.
And we'll probably give you barbecue to take home with you.
Yeah, lots of barbecue to take home with you. Please take it all. Speaking of starting, I think Josh and I probably started at the same contest. Josh, did you do New London first?
I did that Polar Pig down there when they done.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That was my first one.
Damn,
that's a cold
one to pick out for your first contest ever, man.
Yeah, it was freezing.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, they didn't call that Polar Pig for nothing. I don't know. Glenn picked the wrong weekend for those.
Well, it used to be the last weekend in the KCBS points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he would get so many people in there. And it would be like literally the weekend before it would be like 75. And then it'd be 30 that weekend. And then the weekend following it'd be back to 75 degrees. And it's like, Glenn, what are you doing, man?
That was where I first met Urkel for the first time.
I think I met him there too.
Down from Jersey.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good contest. You know, and the contest has gone away, but they used to have an awesome contest there at Fiddler the Pig in Fort Mill, South Carolina, right there outside of Charlotte. That was a lot of fun, but God, that's probably 10 years ago now. It's crazy.
Not much going on around here anymore, man. I don't know what the deal is.
Well, I seen Covington, Virginia's coming back next year.
That's cool.
I think stuff's going to start. I think that TV show's going to spark some new contests come back on the map.
I think so, too.
I just think it'll be a little bit of time coming down the line doing that. But,
well, season 2 is already in the works of being filmed for Barbecue USA.
Very cool. I knew they'd bring that back. It got great ratings.
I think they were filming at the Royal.
They were.
Really? That's cool.
Filming at the Royal. So this be some good people to be in it next year too. But that's the whole thing about it is, I mean, and that's what they kind of showcase. And one other note that I will, and I know Josh is really big into this, and Carrie comes to it, and we all do this that want to come to it. But Barbecue Church will do a contest on Saturday mornings, and just to give everybody an idea of what it is. We accept anybody to come out here and be part of it. We just want to share everything with everybody, not just a barbecue church, but just barbecue in general. But my point being is you come out here, you're gonna meet a lot of people. It's gonna be a lot of great people. We want y'all to do that. If you just come out here and volunteer, cook, hang out, or judge, please do that. We got some really good people to do that. So anyhow, I think we're counting to the mark here. My dog, I think he's got to go outside. So I think you're trying to tell me something here. So yeah, appreciate y'all for watching. Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, good seeing you too.
Video posting here. We do the lives here on every Tuesday at 8:30 at night Eastern time. So we do lives every day, all the time. It's on YouTube, Facebook, and if you want to be on the show, got any questions you want to ask, let us know. But we greatly appreciate it. Thank y'all for watching. See you next time.
Have a good night.
Guys.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for having me.